Hey everyone, welcome back to
Hello.
Gracious Families. It's so good to have you here. And today we are talking about increasing intimacy in your marriage and going from living coexisting lives to being intimate together and in love and having a more peaceful family in the process. Stick around.
Before we jump into our video today, I just want to remind you that at Grace-Filled Families, we empower you to live out your family values and kingdom purpose, steering clear of this world's distractions.
So to empower you, we actually have a 5-day family insight guide on our website, www.gracefieldfamilies.com, which is completely free. And it is a resource to help you understand your family better and give you purpose and goals for the future while resisting the busyness of our world.
Yeah, so head on over and we look forward to helping your family to thrive. So, intimacy.
Woo,
Woohoo.
good one.
This is a good one. And we wanted to firstly define intimacy. And there are 3 definitions, 2 from the dictionary, one that Steve's made up.
Oh, well, mine's more of a how to be intimate. But anyway, keep going.
Firstly, the first definition is close familiarity or friendship. A second one is a cozy and private or relaxed atmosphere.
Oh, sounds good.
And
What's the third one?
Steve's intimacy one is more fun in the bedroom, greater understanding of each other, better conflict resolution, and generally more peace in the home and a closer marriage.
Does that all sound good to you?
That's a good definition, I
Yeah,
reckon.
who doesn't want intimacy in a marriage? And I was thinking through this with some blokes at work years ago about how we increase like our intimacy. It's not just about the bedroom. It's about, being stronger in relationship, understanding each other
being
better,
closer together.
being closer together, being connected more spiritually and that sort of thing. As we're speaking about it, I was thinking about it. I came up with this quote, which, I'm pretty good. I come up with my own quotes. And it is vulnerability breeds intimacy.
That is a good quote.
Yeah, it is. I know, I wrote it. So when you're vulnerable, when you're willing to open up and allow someone in to places that are perhaps a little bit scary to let people into, it actually breeds intimacy. And sometimes we don't want people to come into those places because we don't want to, like spouses, for example, you don't want to maybe fight about something. You don't want them to disagree. Maybe it's just too scary to open up. But we need to have vulnerability in order to breed intimacy. And so we want to give you 6 different ways that will help you to go deeper in intimacy as a married couple.
Yeah, because we, believe that if you are more intimate together, then your marriage is actually going to thrive more.
Yeah, and you'll have a far more peaceful family, hey?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first one today is to play and laugh together. Now, we love to laugh.
Yeah,
and,
I like it.
This guy's a practical joker.
I try.
So we have lots of laughter in our house. But playing can mean lots of things. It can mean going out for dates together, which is super important to spend that time together.
Absolutely.
It can be playing in the bedroom, but it's also
What do you mean by that?
it can be playing in life, and just being like laughing together, joking around. It might even be through messages. In the day, we often message
or
each other
Instagram
in the
Reels
day.
are good.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, playing and laughing together, it's really vital for intimacy.
Absolutely, because laughter releases all the lovely hormones, and then you're having a good time, and fun is fun, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Number 2, this is an interesting one. Actually, Jeremiah gave us this one, which is really cool.
I did.
And it's reducing screen time to increase you time.
Yeah.
You time as in together time. And it's interesting. There's a study that came out of America that said that 70% of couples are unhappy with their partner's amount of screen time. And of that, only 50% of that 70% felt actually comfortable to talk to their partner about that.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, so there's a lot of couples out there, and one of them's sitting on a phone, and the other one's pretty unhappy, but they're only like 50% of them are willing to talk about it.
Yeah, wow.
That's vulnerability, right? Breeding intimacy, talking about it. But this research came out, and there are 2 factors that they are suggesting from their research that this unhappiness can be explained from. Now, the first one is that couples who spend more time on their phones have less sex. It was, in fact, only 44% of this group said that they would have sex one or more times a week,
Wow.
right? So it completely reduces um, bedroom time.
Mm.
And clearly, if you're not interacting, if you're not knowing each other, I mean, that's naturally going to diminish, isn't
Yeah.
it? And we all know that's a really important, that sex is important for a healthy marriage, isn't
It is, and
it?
for
Yeah,
greater intimacy. Yeah.
absolutely. And the second thing that they found is that out of these 70% of unhappy couples who are on their phone, very few couples go on date nights once a year, and a number of them didn't go on date nights at all during the year.
Wowzers.
Yeah. Um, and that's 58%, sorry, that say they do not have date nights at all or only once or twice a year.
Mm.
So really, your screen times are impacting our marriages in ways that often it can creep in. We
Yeah.
know that we can spend too much time on our screen, and it can get more and more, particularly when we're tired and we're looking for a way of escaping from being exhausted or whatever.
Mm.
It can actually sneak in, and before we know it, we're part of the 70% who are unhappy. Hopefully, not part of the 50% who won't talk about it. And then our intimacy as a couple actually drops right off. That's scary, isn't it?
That is scary. Yeah. I guess this kind of also leads into our third one. I guess when you're on the screens and looking through it yourself, you're not conversing, you're not communicating.
Nah.
And our third point for growing greater intimacy in your marriage is to have open communication
Yeah.
and active listening. And communication is vital to work together, to grow together, and to enjoy life together too.
I mean, at a base level, if you've got kids, communication to know what time trainings are,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
what's going in lunch boxes, or who's coming home from school when, and what appointments are around, and all of that. So communication helps to reduce confusion within the home.
Yeah.
But on a deeper level, communication helps you to get to know and continue to know your partner, right?
Yeah, and it's also about finding, like, creating that time, I guess, to actually share openly about things. You might have something that's festering that's really frustrating you. And so, being able to have time to communicate that together can build, well, vulnerability, which then builds intimacy, but it also stops the wedge coming between.
Yeah.
And having that open communication and active listening. And one thing that we hate, is that if you're talking to each other and they're on their phone,
Yeah, it's not fun.
drives me bonkers.
Yeah.
Because I just don't feel like that's active listening. So active listening, putting that phone away, putting that screen away, actually focusing on each other and conversing. It's really important.
Yeah, and a lot of couples have like a weekly catch-up meeting, sort of
cool
board
idea.
meeting, sort of thing. We don't necessarily do that, but we don't watch a lot of TV really, and we create space regularly anyway. Or we're happy to say, "Hey, Nicole or Steve, can you put your phone down? I want to have a chat," and we'll chat through things. So we're naturally sort of just touching base quite regularly anyway.
Yeah, and we often touch base through text as well.
Yeah, text is good.
During the
That's
day.
open communication as well there.
Absolutely.
So that's pretty good. Number four is a huge one, and I can't believe how many couples you talk to who don't have their finances like sorted out together. You know, they've still got his and her bank accounts that his or her can't actually see and know what's going on. They don't talk about purchases together. I'm not talking about buying, I don't know, lettuce. I'm talking about big purchases like TVs, cars, and those sorts of things.
I know that some people do have reasons for split bank accounts, but
yeah, there are reasons for
being
that.
open together, isn't it, about your finances?
About your finances.
Is super important.
And finances are one of the major reasons why couples have issues in their marriage. And so we would encourage you to be vulnerable in your finances and do it together. Like, particularly if there's an issue with finances, you know, you're running out of money, or, you know, it's being drained somehow, or you're doing a big project to increase your finance. Like, it's so important that you're on the same page and actually working together in your finances, because money can quickly turn relationships if you're not vulnerable and intimate with that sort of information.
Yeah, and we've had times too that, you know, money might be really tight, and, you know, I often do a lot of the budgeting in our house, and there was times that I didn't want to stress Steve out, so I didn't talk to him about it until a bit further on. And as soon as I chatted to him about it, it was like, oh, I felt heaps better. And we're actually in it together,
Yeah,
wasn't it? And
we'll do it together.
it's just been awesome. Yeah.
Absolutely. Number 5,
Yep.
living values-driven parenting and marriage.
Yep.
So we have our family values, as you know. You can go back and watch our blogs. You can also go to our website and get the free guide that we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
But having your values that you know as a couple that you value, it actually builds a boundary of safety around your marriage. Because you know what the other person values, you know what you value, and you're able to be safe, vulnerable, and intimate within those values as well.
Yeah, and you know how each other tick and what we're working towards. Which also leads us into our 6th point, is having shared goals and desires and purpose for your family.
Absolutely.
When you're on the same page together and you're working to it together, it really breeds that intimacy because you're in it together.
Absolutely. Having purpose, looking for the future and knowing where you're going together and with your kids as a family in the future, it allows you to become so much more intimate because of the direction that you've set and because you know the decisions you need to make. It helps with decisions, conflict resolution, all that sort of stuff, to have the goals and the purpose ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So there are 6 things. And so I guess if we quickly go through them again.
Let's recap.
So it's playing and laughing
I'm scrolling
together.
because I can't remember them all on the top of my head.
Playing and laughing together is super important.
Oh, absolutely.
Reducing screen time.
Yeah.
So that you can have increased together time.
Yeah.
Open communication and active listening, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Super important. Being on the same page with finance.
Yeah.
Having shared values.
Yeah.
And a values-driven parenting and marriage together. And lastly, having shared goals and purpose for your family.
And if you have all that, what will it lead towards? It will lead towards a close and familiar friendship together, which is so awesome. And a cozy and private, relaxed atmosphere. And probably most important when you're intimate, more fun in the bedroom, hey?
Yep. And more fun out of the bedroom too.
Oh, yeah, and out of the bedroom.
Sorry,
forgot about that one. Anyway, that is 6 ways that you can increase intimacy in your marriage and grow stronger together so that you are on fire to charge parenting and to make a difference in our world.
Yeah, so challenge this week. Which one of these are you going to pick this week so that you can grow your marriage and be more intimate together?
Absolutely. Sounds good. All right. God bless you all, and we'll see you next time.
See you later.